Field trips are one of those things most homeschool parents say they want to do more of and then rarely feel like they actually can. They sound great in theory, but in real life they often feel complicated, time-consuming, or like one more thing we're supposed to do. I think this is because we've misunderstood what field trips are really for. Let me give you an example. Many years ago, our family went to Charleston for a homeschool event. We took a carriage ride through the historic streets and toured Fort Sumter. I was so excited because we had already spent time learning about Revolutionary and Civil War history. I assumed this was going to be the moment where everything clicked, but it didn't. Despite the time that we had spent reading and learning facts from our history books, my kids couldn't really remember much of what we had studied. What did capture them, though, was riding through the streets and seeing cannon holes still visible in the sides of the homes. They were fascinated to learn how important South Carolina had been in both wars, and they were completely engaged in ways that I really had not expected. At the time, I didn't think much of it. But about a year later, we traveled to Philadelphia, and that's when I learned one of the most important lessons I've ever learned about education. This time, things were different. The history they had experienced in Charleston, walking the streets, standing inside Fort Sumter, had stuck. And when we stood inside the Independence Hall, the kids immediately started making comparisons. They were connecting places, events, and ideas. They weren't just repeating facts, they were applying what they already knew. And that's the power of a field trip. It's something a book alone can never do. Field trips make learning real. They help kids connect information, remember it, and see how it fits into the world around them. So if we look at them this way, field trips stop feeling like extras and start feeling like the most valuable tools we have. Hey, if we haven't met, I'm Kim with Not Consume Ministries, and I've been homeschooling for over 22 years. I've learned, sometimes the hard way, that some of the most meaningful learning doesn't happen in a desk. It happens when kids experience the world God created and start making connections for themselves. So today I want to show you how field trips can actually fit into real homeschool life. We're going to talk about how to make them simple, where to go without overcomplicating things, and how to use field trips as a natural part of learning without adding stress or busy work to your days. Sound like a deal? Let's jump in. Number 1, make everywhere a field trip. Now, one of the easiest ways to fit in a field trip is to stop thinking of them as special events that require extra planning. Some of the most meaningful field trips are places you already go to as a part of everyday life, like the grocery store or the library, the post office, a farmer's market, a local bakery, or hardware store. When kids are watching how things work in real life, how food gets from the farm to a shelf, how mail moves through a system, how people in the community do their jobs, they're learning in ways that are practical and memorable. This also includes getting outside in simple and seasonal ways, like apple orchards in the fall, or pumpkin patches, nature trails, parks, creek walks, beach days. Again, these outings don't need to be elaborate to matter. Being outside and noticing seasonal changes or observing plants and animals and experiencing God's creation firsthand helps kids connect what they're learning to the real world. When you start seeing everyday places and seasonal outings as a field trip, learning fits naturally into life instead of feeling like something extra you have to add on. Number 2, make it a group thing. Field trips are almost always easier and better when you don't do them by yourself. So when I first started homeschooling, I asked a few friends if they'd be interested in going on field trips together. I wasn't thinking big or formal, I just knew it would be easier not to go alone. They loved the idea. Before long, we had a group of about 8 moms and went on field trips every single Friday. Some weeks we went to everyday places like the grocery store. Other weeks we went to places that were more difficult to go to on our own, like a local dairy factory, a police station, or a small business in town. Because we came as a group, something interesting happened. Many of those places were happy to give us tours, sometimes completely free. They were excited to talk to the kids, explain what they did, and show how things work. Of course, our kids learned so much. Not because we had perfect plans or a schedule, but because they were experiencing real places, real people, and real work together. Those years of field trips taught my kids more than any stack of curriculum ever could have. And the same thing can be true for your family. You don't need a co-op or a big group. You don't need to organize something impressive. 1 or 2 other families is enough. Besides, small groups are easier to manage, they're more flexible, and they often open doors that wouldn't be available otherwise. Number 3, make the field trip the curriculum. Field trips become overwhelming when we treat them like something extra, something you do after school, or something you have to justify, or something that you squeeze in once the real learning is finished. But the truth is, a field trip doesn't need to sit on top of your curriculum. The field trip can be the curriculum. When kids are out in the world seeing and listening and asking questions, noticing details, they're learning in ways that anything a worksheet can capture. They're building background knowledge, making connections, understanding how ideas fit together. You don't need to do a full school day before you leave to go on a field trip. You don't need to make it up later, and you don't need pages to prove that learning happened. Sometimes the most meaningful part comes later. When learning is tied to real places and real situations, it stops feeling abstract and starts making sense, just like it did for my kids in Charleston. History becomes something that happened in a place. Science becomes something that you can observe. And reading becomes a way to understand the world, not just complete assignments. When my kids were little, I looked everywhere for a curriculum that would help us to focus on field trips and discovery-based learning. I didn't want resources that treated field trips as enrichment or something extra that you did after the real schoolwork. I wanted learning to start with the experience, but I couldn't find anything that did that. Most curriculum assumes that you'll spend a year at the table, and then maybe, if there's time or energy left, you'll add a field trip on top of it. That wasn't what I wanted. I wanted the field trip to be the curriculum. I wanted learning to grow out of what my kids were seeing, touching, and experiencing in real life. And I needed just enough structure to help me guide that learning, to reflect on it, and to build skills naturally without the busy work. So we created it. Let me show you how it works. All Around Town is our pre-kindergarten curriculum, built for the exact kind of learning that we've been talking about. At this age, field trips are simple and familiar. Kids are learning about the world closest to them, how their community works, and the people who function in it. So each unit is centered around places like the grocery store, the post office, the fire station, local businesses, and of course, community helpers. All Around Town helps you build learning naturally out of your field trip experiences. You'll guide your child through early literacy, math, science, and social studies skills by talking about what they saw and matching and sorting and drawing and coloring and playing simple games and even dramatic play. Everything connects to the field trip. Prep is very minimal, so you're not planning elaborate lessons or managing piles of worksheets. This curriculum gives you the structure that you need to know what to do next without turning pre-K into a full school day. I love that children begin to see how God created the world around them and that people have roles in caring for and serving others. Now, this isn't something that you add to a traditional pre-K program. All Around Town is the curriculum. It gives you a full pre-K year built around real life, real experiences, and meaningful learning without busy work, pressure, or lots of planning. Backyard and Beyond is our kindergarten curriculum. This one is designed to take that same experience-based learning and expand it into the natural world and take it outside. You'll find field trips in nature and the great outdoors. Kids are naturally curious about plants, animals, weather, and seasonal changes. Backyard and Beyond is built to lean into that curiosity. Each unit is centered around seasonal nature exploration. Learning begins outside, in your backyard, at a local park, on a nature trail, at a pond, creek, or wooded area. These outdoor experiences become the foundation of learning. Backyard and Beyond helps you build learning naturally out of what your child observes and explores. From those experiences, you'll guide your child through early literacy, math, science, and observation skills, always connecting back to what they actually saw and discovered. Children will practice noticing details, asking questions, recording observations, comparing and sorting, and talking about patterns that they see in nature. Preparation is still minimal. You're not creating elaborate lessons or managing heavy materials. The curriculum gives you a clear structure for what to explore and how to follow up without turning kindergarten into a long sit-down school day. And because learning is rooted in nature, it feels meaningful. Kids aren't memorizing disconnected facts. They're learning to observe carefully and think critically and see how the world around them works together. Let's move to first grade. As children grow, their questions get bigger. They're not just noticing what's around them anymore, they're starting to ask why things are the way they are and how different parts of the world connect. That's where Creatures in Creation comes in. Creatures in Creation is our first grade core curriculum. It's designed to teach science and social studies while providing language arts, practice, and support all in one place, and without overwhelming kids. Over the course of the year, children explore the 5 animal kingdoms in a very practical, real-life way. The curriculum is organized into 6 units, and each unit ends with a field trip that helps bring everything together. Rather than sending families to a specific place that you might not have in your area, Each unit gives a category of experiences, so families can choose what works for them. That might mean observing pets at a pet store, exploring animals at an aquarium, visiting a zoo or a wildlife park, spending time on a farm, or exploring insects in a garden or outdoor space. The exact location isn't that important. Our goal is to help kids connect what they've learned to something real that they can see and experience. Preparation is very minimal and the structure is very flexible. Like I said, Creatures in Creation supports your reading goals instead of competing with them and gives clear guidance without a bunch of busy work. It's designed to help first graders connect with their learning to the real world around them through experiences they can see, observe, and remember. By second grade, kids are ready to read more, think more deeply, and begin taking greater ownership of their learning. That's where Discoveries in Motion comes in. Discoveries in Motion is our second grade core curriculum. It's designed to teach science, social studies, and language arts together while helping students grow in reading skills and independence. Throughout the year, students study motion as it appears in the world God created, how things move, how they're built, and how people use motion in everyday life. From things like the human body to transportation, buildings, inventions, space, and sports, children will begin to see patterns, designs, and purpose woven throughout creation. The curriculum is organized into 6 units, and each unit ends with a field trip. These experiences help students connect what they've read and discussed to something they can actually see, observe, and understand. Lessons follow a clear, consistent pattern that supports growing independence. Students practice what they're learning through meaningful activities that reinforce understanding without the busy work. Just like the others, there's very little prep and the structure stays flexible. Discoveries in Motion gives second graders a year of learning that feels connected, purposeful, and grounded in God's Word, while continuing to build confidence and curiosity. Now, if field trips have felt overwhelming or out of your reach, I hope this helped you to see them differently. They don't have to be extra. They don't have to be complicated. And they don't have to compete with the rest of your homeschool. When learning starts with real experiences, kids don't learn more, they understand. And that kind of learning stays with them. If this approach to homeschooling resonates with you, you'll find the resources we talked about linked below. Each one is designed to make field trips part of everyday learning without the busy work, pressure, or over-planning. And wherever you are in your homeschool journey, I hope this encourages you to step outside of the book a little bit more, trust the process, and remember that some of the most meaningful learning happens along the way. What's one field trip you want to take with your kids? Drop it in the comments and let's share ideas. And if you're looking for more outside of the box ways to homeschool, you'll want to check this video next.